Hey, I'm Scott, and I was going to go through a bunch of different Christmas songs by ear, and I'm like, how do I do that? How do I explain to people how much I love ear training and music? So I found an old book I've got. You know, I probably got this when I was in grade school or something. Merry Christmas Carols. First published 1986. Yeah, there we go. And the other thing I got found. This is like yellowed paper, 1-3. These are obviously Christmas Carol lyrics that people have copied, but I haven't got any music with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to think of the melodies of these songs and play them on the piano. And I'm recording on an iPhone that has no pause button, so you see all the stuff ups. Although, you know, if I later edit it, I'll put that in the description. So just firstly, very quick about music theory. You know, you might already know this. You can skip it if you do. So what we've got here is a C scale. 1, 2. Better turn the piano on first. So as you can see, there's 2 black notes and 3 black notes. We've got just very quickly, you know, the notes of the piano are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then the black notes are, you know, it's a C sharp or it's a D flat. Flat's down, sharp up. And the C scale is the first scale with no sharps or flats. And this is important. The sequence of any major scale is 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. So 2 is a tone. So 2, you know, we're going 1-2, 1-2, 1. So the sequence is 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. That's the same sequence of every major scale, so you can just pick a note on the piano and, you know, go F sharp. 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. And you don't need to know the sharps or flats, you just need to know 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. And so between 3 and 4, there's no, which is with C is between E and F, there's no black note. Between 3 and 4, and between 7 and 8, 8 is also 1. But sometimes in music, you know, we hear about 9, 11, 13 chords, etc. That's because it's got a 7 in it. You know, the flat 7 of C is B flat, and the major 7 of C is B. They're very different. You know, that's a very, you know, mellow sound. Ooh. And the flat 7, or the dominant 7, is very rocky, rock around the clock sound. So if you have 7s, then when you've got a 7 in the chord, then you can also have a 9th, which is the 2, which is, you know, 9 is 7 plus 2, 11 is 7 plus 4, so, and a 13 is 7 plus 6. So that's way more complicated than we're going to be doing today, but just that in the C scale, there are 7 chords in the C major scale, and all of those chords have all of the notes in the C scale which have no flats or sharps. The same rules apply with any other key with its own flats and sharps, but there's just to explain it very diagrammatically and make it easy to understand. The C scale is the easiest to play on the piano to work out a song because there's no flats and sharps. Although if you want to try to pretend you can play piano and impress someone, you're probably better to just play the black notes, because there's less notes and there's only a couple of keys that have 5 or 6 flats or sharps. You actually sound like you can play just by playing the black notes. But so we've got the 1 chord, we've got the 4 chord, we've got the 5 chord. The 5's a special chord. It's also called the dominant. Like, so that is a G7, dominant 7, rock around the clock, flat. And so that's a very common sequence. You know, Mary Poppins, Spoonful of Sugar, or any other, you know, rock around the clock, or anything that's the 1 and flat 5 Dominant 7 is a very common chord pattern. So we got 1, we got 4, we got 5. Very commonly we've got 1, 5, 1, you know, common sequence. We got Van Halen, you know, which is a 4, 1, 5. You can play a chord in inversions. So this chord is the root. This is the first inversion. We've got 1, 3, 5 of the chord. A chord typically has 3 notes. We've got 3, 5, 1, we've got 5, 1, 3, and then we're back to the regular. So that's the root, that's the first inversion, that's the second inversion. First note bass, third note bass, fifth note bass, and back to the original. And why that is useful on the piano and the guitar, it means that you can just, you know, doing your Van Halen, I start off with an F, which is the 4th chord in the C scale. I've got a first inversion of the F because I'm starting on the 3rd note, which is the A, and then I do a second inversion on the C because it's starting on the 5th of the C, which is the G, and then I've got the root of the G chord, 1, 3, 5 of the G. But you know, there's so many songs that have go slippy, you know, 1, 4, 5, or the C, G. That's a 1, 1, 5, 5, 4. So many songs with those patterns. That's 1, 4, 5. They're the only majors. The minor 6 is called the relative minor, natural minor, because the natural minor scale, the C scale, just has no blacks or whites, and the A minor scale, which is the relative minor, has exactly the same notes, just starting from the A. And then just looking at an A minor, it is very similar to a C second inversion. Yeah, that's a C second inversion, that's an A minor. So the C major and the A minor, or any 1 and minor 6, which is the natural minor, they're the same chord. They're a very similar chord and the same scale. So we've got, you know, 7 here. We've done 1, 4, 5. We've done minor 6. There is 2 and 3 that are both minors, and you know, the 2 is very typically the jazz. 2, 5, 1 is a jazz. Or, you know, Sunday morning, rain is falling, Maroon 5, or I've got you under my skin. Very common jazz pattern, although of course you wouldn't call Maroon 5 jazz. And we've done minor 3 very commonly goes to the natural minor. You know, we might have a you know, feed the birds, tuppence back, when you, or fix you Coldplay, when you dun 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 dun, and the hitting on the 5 again. So we've done 1, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, and the last one is 7, which is diminished. And diminished is a weird one, but if you put a G on the bass of the diminished, it becomes a dominant 7. So it's quite dissonant, it doesn't quite work, and then you've got that. And spent a bit long talking about the music theory stuff, but the next thing, of course, is the cycle of fourths or fifths. So if you go up by fifths, C, G, 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 A, G, E, E, E. They're your sharps, fifths going up to the sharps. And what it is, because of this 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1 rule, when you know, as I said, we've got the 7 and the 1 on any major scale, and we've got the 3 and the 4 that are only a semitone. They're only one note in the scale, and when you change key, then you start adding flats and sharps when you do the pattern. So without needing to know the pattern, you know, the B, A, D, G, and Fat Charlie gets drunk after every beer and that sort of stuff, I thought to myself, what's a better way to just not need to remember some mnemonic or thing? And what I realized is that when, going to the G, which is the going around the sharps in the fifths, G has one sharp, which is F sharp, because when you apply this 2 2 1 2 2 2 1, we're hitting, before we were in the C, we were 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now we are 6 7 8 for the G. So the different that 3 and 4 creates, when you do that pattern, but between the 3 and 4 and the 7 and the 8th, that is why we've got sharps. So the going around the fifths, we got this. The 3 and 4 of the C becomes the 6 and the 7 of the G, just by how it works as you go around. And then so we've got one sharp, which is the F. Now, with sharps, the next sharp is always the 7th of the previous. So as we go up here, we've got D as the next 5th above G. Then we've got one down from that as the 7th is the C sharp. So the G scale has, 2 2 1 0 2 2 1 2 2 2 1, and then the D 2 2 1 2 2 2 1. And even though I know the chords, because I'm saying at the same time as I'm playing it, I'm actually counting the 2 2 1 2 2 2 1 without thinking about, like, I know that D has the F sharp and the D sharp in it, but the point is, when you're just counting and talking at the same time, I'm not hitting any wrong notes because I'm counting the pattern. And so, I know by the cycle of fifths, when my teacher first taught it to me, I was like, this is boring, what's the point? But just knowing that every 7th of the flat as you go around, so, the G has one sharp, D has two sharps, because each, they build, as you go around, they keep adding sharps or flats. So we've got C, G, one flat, which is F, D, two flats, which is the F we already got, and the D, A, three sharps, three sharps, which is the A minor, E, four sharps, which is and the fourth sharp is the E, the D sharp, sorry. I am used to more talking in flats. So what do we got? We got the F sharp, we got the C sharp, we've got the G sharp, we've got the D sharp, we've got the A sharp, we've got an F. Yeah, that last one. And the flats is very similar, but as we said, we've got 3 and 4, which is one problem, and when we move that to the G, that becomes the 6 and the 7 as we go around to G. The cycle of fourths is the same cycle, but it goes in fourths. So just to explain that fourths and fifths, I've got a fifth here, I've got a fourth here. So there's 1 5 between C and G, and there's 1 4 between G and C as the inversion. So, if I want to do some sort of U2 thing, no, that's not right. No, that's not it. In the name of love. It's not right, it's just wrong what I'm doing, and there's a trick to that I haven't worked out, and I'm just going to leave it. But just for the point that we've done sharps that they are the 5th of the next one, and then we add the 7th as the next sharp, and the sharps build. So, the F sharp, C sharp, that was the mnemonic, Fat Charlie gets drunk after every beer. fat, Charlie gets, drunk, D sharp, after every E sharp beer. Then we've got flats where we've got, it's the fourth. So as I said, 3 and 4, 7 and 8, what we get with the going around the flats is that we get the first flat of the F, the only flat of the F scale is B flat. And that is because we're going 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. So again, when we hit in this case, when we hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, again in C with the 3 and the 4, there's no flat or sharp in there. Again, when we hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth of the F is the flat. And that actually is the next flat, which is cool. It's kind of, but it's before its time. So knowing what the next flat is means that you know that the next key is the key of B flat, and then you know the next key, you know that the B flat key has the flats of B flat and E flat, and then the E flat key has the key of B flat, E flat. This is the B, E, A, D, G, and then the E flat key has the keys of E flat, it's B flat, E flat, and A flat. But as I said, you know, you just 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Again, not knowing that, I can just count out that 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1 to get the scale. And then by doing that, I can also see that we've got E flat, A flat, and B flat in there, but the order is B flat, E flat, A flat. And you might not play very much in the keys that have 5, 6, or 7 flats and sharps in them, but the point is that you know how to work it out. And if you're playing on the piano, as I said, playing the black notes means you could fool someone that you can actually play, because you know, playing those notes they are the flats and sharps of those 5, 6, 7 flat or sharp keys. And so you're not, you know, when you're playing with C, you've got 7 notes and they can sound a bit like it's not quite right because there's too many notes being played when you just mess around. But when you mess around on the black keys, there's less notes, so they're more relevant, so you sound like you know what you're doing. So, all right, Christmas carols. We've got a table of contents here, and we've got different songs here. Okay, Away in a Manger, and I'm going to play all of these in C. So a lot of Christmas songs start, as I've said, a lot of Christmas songs are 1, 4, 5. You know, 1. I'm playing the F, second inversion. I'm playing the 5th, which is the G, and that's again the second inversion. I could again do this in, you know, I could play that. That's the first inversion. You can do it any way you want with the inversions. That's again. So I'm going to play Away in a Manger. Very commonly it starts in the first key, you know, and often a lot of songs either start in the major or in the relative minor. Not always, but it's just very common, particularly with simpler songs. Away in a Manger, I think it's going to start. It's going to be a 5. Yeah. And I did do this on a previous video, but just to do them very quickly, what you can do is you can use the notes of the melody to try to guess what the chords are without really knowing what the chords are, simply by knowing listening to when the chords change, and then also thinking about what the melody is doing. And you can't necessarily play what I'm playing, because I also know the relationship between the notes. I know that military sound is a 4th pattern. You know, I know that that's a sixth. I can hear those intervals and know what they are. So often when I'm hearing a song, dun 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 dun, dun, I can hear that's going military upper fourth, dun 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 dun. I can hear that's going one above, da da da. So I could without looking at it, without playing a piano, I could probably tell you that goes 5 1 1 2 3 1 1, which then if I'm in C, I just know my note is G. And sometimes I can hear a song and just kind of also, I don't have perfect pitch. Other people do, where they can hear a note or hear a horn and be like, that's the note of F. I don't have that, but because of my general training and knowledge and listening, I can know the pattern of it. And so I know when a man just starts. I got it wrong there. And then. Dun, dun, dun. So playing that sequence, I already know what the chords are because I know without playing the chords, I can tell that is, and so I can just play it, but I just explain it while I'm doing it quickly. One, so what I'm saying is the chord. I'm gonna say the chord and the number because the key is C, so C's 1, you know, F's 4, G's 5. A minor is minor 6, and I call them F, G, C if they're just major, and minor, A minor, etc. And if something is out of pattern, like D minor is D minor, but I could just call that D because it is in the relative pattern. But I will definitely call out that it's a D major if I was playing one of those because that is out of the pattern of C. And we know it's out of pattern because C has no black or white notes. And when you're playing a key, you know, all of those keys work and don't touch any black notes. Whenever you're touching a black note in the key of C, whenever you're playing something that sounds weird, when you are playing songs with other keys, you can just get to sound when something is out of key. So C, C1, dun, 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 C1, dun, 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 dun. Now, that could be a chord change, but it's not. Okay, that's still a C. And because we've finished on an F note, I'm guessing that's an F chord and I got it right. That starting on a D. D is the 5th of G. So it didn't like. I think the chord changes when you hit the F, which is the G7. The chord might not really change there, but it does here. G7, C, G, D minor. So I guessed incorrectly first that it was a G by knowing that G is the 5th of G, but because it had a sad sound, I was like, oh no, and it's a D. I realized, well, no, that's the minor 2. And then that's an inverted G, G5. And then again, we're really back to, that's a pickup note. So that pickup note could have either G5 or C1 as the chord, but it doesn't really matter. We're still in the key of C, but I'm playing a G bass note just to make it sound like a chord. I've only got one hand. I'm holding my phone in the other. And then that's the F again. And any chord is very similar to any other different chord, as I said. So that's the F major. That's the D minor, which is the relative minor, the minor 6 of the F, which is the minor 2 of the C. And then we've got the G7, C1. Now, usually there's a very common 1-5-1, but because this starts with a 2, then I think it's a minor 2. G5, C1. Then the other stuff is the same, you know. Next, deck the halls. Deck the halls of holly. That's okay. So that's just a C and probably a G7. So there's no F in it. It's just G7 and C. G7, which is 5 dominant. Sorry. I get, when you you expect a chord change there. You gotta wait for it. And then the it could be a D minor. What else could it be? Yeah, it's more a G major. And kind of going to the 7. C. So this is a very simple song that is just G7, which is the dominant fifth, and the C chord. Oh, it does do the 4, just when I say that. I mean, that's not really... because the diminished itself is the G7. But that's definitely those notes. I don't know exactly what that chord is, whether it's a B diminished, which is unlikely in a Christmas song. It's really a oh, you could do that. You could do G, F, C, 5, 4, 1. That's going to be an A with an F. And I'm doing the inversion to keep the melody note on the top. What do we got? Ding dong merrily on high. Ding dong merrily on high. Dun, dun, dun. And when you're playing in a key, you're very likely to sing in that key. That's why everyone can sing Happy Birthday even though they can't necessarily know the notes. So what I know is if I start singing one of these songs and was playing in the key of C before, I'm gonna start singing in C just automatically. My body's just gonna do that, and most people do that, I believe. I'm not. Okay, so yeah, ding dong, ding dong, G, da 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 da. So again, this is starting on the root, the C, C1. Yeah, a lot of these Christmas chords, Christmas carols have a good phrase on the 1, and there's going to be an F, a 4, 5, 1. And what I'm doing is I'm flicking with the note to play the inverted chord. F4, 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 G5, 1, 1. That's what messes me up, because that's a second note, and normally you think second G or D minor, but it's not. But it's just on the... It's just some notes, just because there's a different note doesn't mean you need to change chord, even though it may sound a little bit funny and strange. And that's the benefit. You just listen for the chord changes. G and the C, C. And sometimes you can just play the 1 and the 3, and it sounds lovely because it's just thirds or fourths. Yeah, then we got sorry. This is going to be a 1, 5, 1, 4 type thing. And I've just grabbed the F. Oh, ooh, and that's a, ooh, that could actually be a D minor 7, or it could be an F. Ooh, now what is that? Just a G major. F, G5, C1. That's cool. God Rest You, Merry Gentlemen. I don't really know it. Good King Wenceslas. Very similar to Ding Dong Merrily on High. Good King Wenceslas. And then the 5-1. 4. Yeah, same as the other one. 4-4-4. 5-1-1. And then a second up the phrase. It's basically Ding Dong Merrily on High. And there's a minor at the end there. Natural minor of the A minor. And then the F, 4-5-1. Hark the Herald Angels Sing. That is really hard. That's maybe the hardest Christmas carol. That's why I did that earliest. So I've done this before, just earlier today. So what just to make you hear that before I play it, you just hear the tricks. And I know what they are, otherwise I'd need to redo them. You can watch my video where I'm fumbling around doing it, but it's got a key, it's doing them all in C, but this song changes key to do G and does a 1-5-1, a G major, an F, a D major, which is a 5 of D, but it's a major 2 of C, which it's got this F sharp. That's one pattern, and then we've got and what was the other pattern again? It was the D minor. That's right. D minor, A major, D minor. That's the other pattern, which is a 1-5-1 maybe for D minor, with the D and the 1, the A and the 5, and and then we had some 4-1-5 Van Halen Jump in there, and C, starting on the C, 1-1-1 C1, 5, C1 G5 C, G5, still on the G5, and then we got the D major G, which is out of key, goes into the G kit. Now we go back to the C key. C, F, F4, C1, G5, F4, C1, G5, the Van Halen Jump. 4-1-5, and then so you could do these either as an A minor or as an F, but it's more an F, I believe. F, and then this is the fun D minor, A major, D minor. G major, G5 of the C. Back to the C1, G1, 1, and then we have a repeat of that. 4-4. D minor, A major, D minor, G5, 1, and then a 1, and then a 1, 5, 1. That's that. Inducibly Jubilo, I don't know. I saw 3 ships, I don't know. Jingle Bells. I usually play this in F, so this will be interesting. I think it starts on a 3. Dun, 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 dun. No, what is it? Jingle bells, jingle bells. Dun, 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 dun. Does it start on the F even though it's the key of C? Dun, 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 dun. I knew it was a sixth interval, so that makes sense that it's a starting on the, it is in C. I mean, it starts on C of the C1. C1, and C1, C1. And then it's going to be a, it's an F. Oh, is that a G? G5? Sometimes you do those little fun little 2, 3. Add a bit of flair. G5. Whether you need to change chords there, you can just do that rather than the yeah, it's still in a G, and that's a G7, and the 1. Okay, that is the Jingle Bells. That's great. Okay, oh come all you faithful, oh come all you faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh come all you faithful. Okay, that's a C, C1, G5. C1. Come all you faithful, joyful and try, joyful and try. Okay, that's not a chord change. 1, G5. Oh, and then it's a minor. Maybe it's either a minor 3 or a minor 6. Oh yeah, A minor. A minor. It's a minor 6. Come all ye, come all ye. Ooh, G, yeah, G. And a 1, 5, 1, and then a 1. Oh, it's a cool. It's a key change. G, D major, G. Cool, just like Hark the Herald Angels. C, C1. Dun, dun. Oh, F 4 to a 1. 4, 1. Dun, 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 dun. This is a G5. Dun, oh, that's still the G5. Dun, dun. Oh, and then dun, dun, dun. Dun. Then the chorus would be dun, 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 C1. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It stays on the C. It sounds like it would change, but it doesn't. Dun, 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 dun. Then that goes to the G. Okay. Dun, dun, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5, 1, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5. And dun, 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 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Dun, dun, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5. And then the key bit. Dun. It could either be an F or it could be a D minor, depending on what you wanted to make it sound. The G, G5. Oh, that's not right. Oh, it's a G7, that's why. 1, G5, C, and just any 1, 5, 1 can usually be a 1 D7. You know, it can be a 1, 5, 1, or could be a 1 G7, 1, 5 with a flat 7, 1, or G7 in this case. Come on, you faithful, oh little town of Bethlehem. No. See, this is a minor one, so that gets me a bit hard, and that minor means we're in A minor. Oh little town of Bethlehem. Yeah, this has got some funky stuff. So this is I mean, we're starting off in C with a 3, and just, you know, I should maybe not try to do that. I should do the melody first. I think that's the B. No, it's the A. Cool. Okay. That E flat or D sharp is quite funny, and that could be an E major chord, which is a major third of the C, which is a bit weird. The other stuff does seem to be there's the F, bit of F in there, maybe A minor. No, that doesn't work with the trying to be there. No. What is it? Is an F7 with 4/7? No, definitely not that. It doesn't sound too bad to just keep it in the C with a flat third, even though it's a weird. What is it? What is it? I mean, and again, just going through all of the thing, going through all the main. I don't like doing that method generally, but sometimes it's just what can I get of something. See, that A major is the 5th of it. It doesn't work. That E, so it's the first of E major. It's the 5th of A flat major. That doesn't work because we got the two things there. We've got the only a semitone between them. That implies that it's either maybe a 3 and a 4 and a 7 and 8 of something else. So maybe it could be an E minor because that is in the scale, and that's the 7 of the E minor. Yeah, but when you play an E minor like that, it is a diminished. The A major doesn't. The D minor doesn't do it. Oh, it's just. Well, that. No, it's on the C. Yeah, it's fine if you put the B in there with it, but what else does it? There's only. Ooh, that's interesting. A B flat major. No, that's just terrible. Yeah, it's just a flat third of a C, I reckon. I mean, the diminished is lovely. Okay, it's the C diminished. I mean, why did I... It's just you don't use it that often. That's the... Oh, I see. And because there is an E flat, it's a half diminished, I think. Because that's a full... It's one or the other. It's full or half. Like, that's a regular diminished. Maybe that is a... That's a half diminished. You know, it's also... It also could be an augmented raised 5th of the E flat. And then what does that change to after that? It's just back to the C. F4. sometimes I say one. Yeah, anyway, back to the one chord. And it definitely sounds better to resolve it, to do that, rather than to do that, in my opinion. Oh, that's nicer. That's nicer because it just didn't sound like it resolved. That did the resolve to the C, but then you wanted something else. Yeah, and then you got the A minor 7. Lovely. Again, the 1 5 1. And again, you could do the 7. Then the other part, 1, and then that's the, that's the G7, G4, and then the F. Oh no, could be an E minor here. Where this is where a weird one where the chord doesn't quite work with the pattern. It's not a 1 3 5 of the chord, but it's a 4 of the E minor. Yeah, because it's not an A minor, because that's the A minor, it doesn't work. Back to the C. That could be the E. With the A, it could be the F, or it could be the minor C. Oh, it could be the A minor. 1 5 1. That's not quite right. What else have we got? We could work with the C, A minor. It's not a G7 because that'll typically be the end of the phrase to resolve it. And then yeah, okay, we got a 1 5 1 of the A minor with the E minor with the A minor. It's not quite right. So okay, A minor, E minor. Trying to do some weird change of key thing, thinking if that might work. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. It's an A minor to an E major, 1 5 1. Oh, it doesn't quite work. Because if I go with the A flat, it sounds like it could work, but it doesn't work with the... Oh, no, it does. Yeah. E minor, E major, A minor 6, A minor, E major, major third, weird, A minor 6, back to the C1. Oh, that was the A minor 7. 5 1. Yeah, see, when they do get much more beautiful and hard. Like, that is a beautiful song. It does get quite butchered. Once in Royal David City. Once in Royal David City. Yeah, I'm getting confused with something else with Hark the Herald Angels Sing. So let's just ditch that. Rocking. Nah, See You Amid the Winter Snow. I don't know these rocking this one. Silent Night. That is an easy one with a 1-4-5. The First Noel. Is it the F? Oh, no, it's the G. Oh, the G7. 5-7, and then the 5-1, and then the F. 4-F. And then we got a minor in here. Oh, it's a G7. I could hear that there was an interval there. So again, it's a B diminished or a G major, G dominant 7, D5. And then the to the resolve to 1. 4, G5. I mean, that's it, and it's beautiful and simple and easy to learn. The First Noel. The First Noel. Now again. The First Noel. Da-na-na. 3, 2, 1. The first. 2, 3, 5. It's just, yeah, it's just the same notes. 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5. 6, 7, 8. 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3. Chords 1, 1. Oh, it could be a G. G. Oh, nah, is it? Ooh, is it an F? F4 or is it a C1? Back to the 1. 4, 1, 4, F4. 1. Oh, 1, and then the G7 dominant. It's C1, G5, A minor, minor 6, E minor, minor C. Ooh. Oh, it's not though. 4. And then in the chorus bit, and then it gets into the A minor for the turnaround. Oh, I don't even know what that is. Wow, D minor 7, lovely. But that's not it though. Okay, this is F4, C1, that works best because the C major 7 is a very distinctive sound. So often you change chords rather than getting to the C major 7 because again, that's similar to the diminished. But the diminished, of course, is the bass of the G7. Oh, that obviously, any Fs could be D minor 7s, which... Sorry, A minor. Because of course we've got the E minor or the C, it's very similar. F. So you could either have the G7 in there or leave it out. Holly and the Ivy, I don't really know it that well. We Three Kings, that's a minor one. That's cool. And While Shepherds Watched. What do we got? We Three Kings. It's a minor. Da, 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 we. Ah, interesting. So it's mellow minor of C is the minor 6, which is the A. This will be in mostly minors or harmonic majors. Maybe there's an E major in there. Yeah, it must start with the minor. Sounds like that resolves. Sounds like that changes. Okay. No, it's not right. Okay, well, that could work. So I know it's the A minor, minor 6. I mean, of course, you could start calling A minor 1 because we're now in the key of A minor, not C. And I might do that, but it's, so we got minor 6, A minor 1. Then, of course, we're going to work out what is, if we are in A minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can have either of those types of A minor to, see, that's a major. See, that's why this doesn't work with the minors. It works with the majors, but not with the minor. Yeah, not happy with it with a minor. Okay, well, just a 1-5-1 is the easiest way. I wish there was a different chord there on that. Minor 1, major 5 of the minor 1. Back to the C1. 1-5-1. This is going to be maybe minor 2 because it's a second. C. That's not. That's a sad. Yeah, that's the 5th of the E, so that's that. G. Star one, star bright. You could, yeah, it doesn't sound like it works in the chorus. Oh, it's just a 1-4-5-1. 5-5-1. Oh, D minor, lovely. Oh, no. Yeah, that A minor to the G is that's a fun one. That is, again, another beautiful song with the We Three Kings. Similar to Little Town of Bethlehem, doing the minor Christmas carols, they've got much more interesting chords. We wish you a Merry Christmas. It's just a 1-4-5 with a minor. Oh no, it changes keys. Yeah, see, this is one of the first that's gone to the 1-1-4-4-4, and then what does it do? A minor, D minor, D. Yeah, okay. See, F, D minor, G, G, G. It just goes around the cycle. 1-4-4-4. 1-1-1-4. Back to the minor 6 of that. G. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. What is it? What is it from the G? Dun 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 dun. It's a minor. Dun 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 dun. Ooh. No, it's not an E minor. Minor 2, and then the key might change here. It's not the A minor though. Is it the E? No, it's not. And what gets into that? It's a 3 or the 4, but what else is it? 3 and the 4 of that. It's not an F. I thought it was a B to an E. Yeah. No, it's not. What is it? And it's sometimes just keeping playing on of it. Oh, it's a diminished of something. That note fits in that. That note fits. What is the other note of that chord? Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay. Changes key, then it goes to 1 1 1 4 4 1 1 and then we've got the but it's not the, it's the E flat, it's the A flat. It's not the E major. That goes from a major 1 to a minor 6. 4 minor 2, 5 1. That's a lovely. That's a lovely turnaround with the 4 minor 2 G 5 C1. Yeah. Well, that one has me stumped. It beat me. I think I've got nearly everything else, and I've played it. That's a key that maybe we're going from that to that. Okay, maybe that whole phrase is a key. And then we've got the dun, and then we get the dun 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 dun. Okay, dun 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 dun. It's something with the E and then something. It's just an E major and an A minor. That's why. Okay. C1, F, F4, D minor, minor 2, G5, and then the E, which is a key change, which sounds so weird and why it was so hard to pick. E major, major 3, A minor, F, F4, F4, D minor, F4, D minor 2, major 5 or dominant 5, 1. Well, I didn't do While Shepherds Watch. There's a few I didn't know, but I'm done. And there's some beautiful Christmas carols there, and that was very fun to do without music, and I really appreciate your watching. And if you got any questions, please let me know.